Hey guys, and welcome back to yet another YouTube video on my youtube.com channel. Today I'm going to be hitting you with this top 10 Christian metal bands of all time. These are the metal bands for the Lord. So, for number 10, I'm not going to be I'm not saving the best for last. Instead, I'm saving the best for the first one instead. So, number 1 is going to be Black Sabbath. You know it. I mean, anybody who's gotten into their catalog will be able to tell you that their reputation as some evil, scary band is just a total relic of the Tipper Gore era. People playing Led Zeppelin in reverse and stuff like that. So, I mean, most of the classic lineup, I mean, they were all Christians, and their lyrics were just about war, depression, smoking dope, you know, and, also religion sometimes. And there was a very Christian, message in those lyrics. Now, for number 2, Judas Priest. Now, the religious themes of Judas Priest music are, a little more apparent, especially, on their last album, but, they're a lot more controversial, theologically, because never before amongst even the most, radical church historians, radical, theologians in church history, nobody had ever thought to ask the question, what if Jesus comes back? He's like a badass robot, he's got a motorcycle and like he's got like lasers on there, and the wheels are buzz saws. And it said the motorcycle looks like a dragon, and Jesus got the wind. He goes and he kills all the bad guys with the awesome motorcycle. And so, probably not something you would listen to as worship music, on the Sunday service, But if you're looking for something more substantial, something more thought provoking, this is definitely the band to go to. Now, for number 3. This one might be controversial. I'm saying Morbid Angel. Now, due to all the references in their lyrics to, like demons and like Satan and all this like scary stuff, they might seem, like kind of an odd choice here for the people who aren't familiar with the history of the death metal genre. Because you see, from its inception, really, death metal has always taken a lot of influence from, horror movies and, horror literature and comics and stuff, and so they use these chromatic melodies to create this evil, scary sound. And so within that context, you can start to understand that the implication of their sound and themes being combined is that Satan is a very evil and scary guy. It's made clear he's not just like a bad guy who maybe could be redeemed, like Gru from Despicable Me, but he's more like Vector from Despicable Me, who he just has to be exiled to the moon. There's no hope for him. So this is a very obviously Christian stance to take on Lucifer, very Christian band. So for number 4, it's going to be Death. It's going to be Death. Death never had, as much focus on the satanic stuff as other bands like Morbid Angel. So it might be hard to see how they fit into this list. But in fact, some of their lyrics on Symbolic could be read as a little anti-religious. But it's kind of open interpretation a little bit. However, more dedicated fans, like me, will remember that some particular lyrics on their debut album make it very clear that Chuck Schuldiner hates gay people and thought they were weird, which I'm pretty sure it was exactly what Jesus was always saying, I'm pretty sure. And, you may be surprised to learn that Chuck never recanted these beliefs, even to this day, but still tours with the band to this day and is a millionaire. So number 5 is going to be Jesus Peace. Now, the name is obviously a clear reference to the sacrament of communion, which is where you eat a piece of Jesus. So you take a little cracker, and it's a piece of Jesus, and you wash it down with a shot of wine, and it represents a piece of Jesus because he was a scrumptious dude, which is what everybody says. I'm pretty sure that's in the Nicene Creed. But unfortunately, these guys are what's known as metalcore. So I cannot, in good faith, recommend that anybody listen to them ever for any reason. Unfortunately. But number 6, you gotta have None So Vile by Cryptopsy. So basically, it's Herod's birthday, and he promises his niece that he'll give her whatever she wants because she's good at dancing. I mean, I don't know, I didn't write it, but and then her mom, for no reason whatsoever, just tells her daughter to ask for John the Baptizer's head on a platter. So she does ask for that, and Herod is like, I mean, damn, that's like kind of a mood killer for a fucking birthday party to have some guy decapitated, even though everybody knows he's like a chill, everybody likes him, he's John the Baptizer. But I mean, I did promise you whatever you want, I guess, so this total piece of shit, King Herod has John the Baptizer beheaded, and they put his head on a platter, I mean, what the fuck, So, for number 7, I'm going to be resting on this one. I decided to take some cues from the Almighty, and I'm resting on the 7th because, making this video has been a lot of work. It's been a lot of work for me, you guys, so I'm going to be resting on this one. Number 8, K-pop Demon Hunters. Honestly, guys, I haven't watched this movie myself, but I always see people talking about how Demon Hunter is the best Christian metal band of them all. So I had to give them a spot on this list, or else there'd be a whole riot, in the streets and everything. But I don't know how prominent the K-pop aspect of this is, but personally for me, the issue with K-pop is that it's just, for me, it could never live up to what was most Americans' initial introduction to the genre, which is Gangnam Style, from back in the day, if anybody's older enough to remember that one, when that one came out, Number 9 is going to be Defeated Sanity. Now, in rock and roll, there's plenty of legends about, people making deals with the devils to make success. But, when you get to the level of Defeated Sanity, this is what we call divine inspiration, So very clearly blessed by the Almighty Lord. So, now number 10 is going to be Deicide. Now, this is the hottest take of them all. But, really all you got to do is just take Glenn Benton here, and you rotate him about 180 degrees, and boom, there you go. There you have it, everybody. So anyways, thanks for watching my list. Check out some of my other videos, and